Good afternoon or morning, everybody, as the case may be. I'm going to go through how a schedule looks for a teacher with you and how you can use the student PLPs to request changes based upon mods and overlaps. So I've actually have one schedule pulled up here. This is Mr. Pommier, and he has many sections of life, fitness, and wellness. I've highlighted on purpose his section 5. I know it's section 5 because it has the name, the section number, and then it says lab. And so these last two things, some say lab in 5 and some say 5 in lab. But that number is the section number. That's one group of students. And a lab class is a regular class. Some courses have what we call small groups. So if you had a small group, and I don't believe either of these examples do today, they will, instead of saying lab, they'll say SG. Some of them have like 1H. That means that it's an honors class. But regardless, you can look at the schedules and figure out when your classes are coming by looking at the mods and the times. So for Mr. Pommier, he has from 12:55 all the way starting at 1:20 to 1:45. This one starts at 1:20, ends at 1:45. That is one section. So he's going to start teaching at 12:55, and 4 minutes before 1:45, he's going to have a transition for the students to go. And so this is one section. Even though it's listed twice, it is one section of students because it's section 5 and section 5. Above it is a section 4. And so that is one group of students. His section 5 meets Monday starting at mod 14, Tuesday starting at mod 7, Wednesday starting at mod 14, and Thursday starting at mod 7. All throughout this day, though, if you notice, his are all on Monday through Thursday. Probably what he's doing here is the same thing he's doing with all of his classes on this day. So a student may want to switch in their schedule those times if they have overlap, and that's what we're going to look at right now. So I have a demo student pulled up called PLP AAA. You can find the PLPs by going into Google Drive. I know some of you new teachers didn't have this, but I believe that's been fixed. I type in PLP and the beginning of the last name, and you should see them start to auto-populate. And so I'm going to go down here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is our demo one for this. This is where you go to find the profile for the student. It's where you find their schedule. Everything that's in Skyward is going to show up on the schedule right here. It's where you're going to find grades later on, and we'll talk more about that in a different video. So I'm looking at the Monday schedule for this demo student, and I see that they have Mr. Jackson, Mr. Matthews, Mr. Pommier, Mr. Lamb, among other people. So everywhere on this schedule that you see a little editing pen means that there's some kind of overlap. And if you look, we have a mod 4 and a mod 4 for current events and US history. Down here, we have environmental science for 2 mods in a row and life fitness for 2 mods in a row, but they overlap on this right here on that section 7 that I just highlighted. So the student's going to need some way of rectifying that situation. So what they would do is they would go to Mr. Matthews and Mr. Pommier, and they'd try to figure that out. I'm going to go to Mr. Matthews first because I've already looked at these. And if I go to Mr. Matthews, I see that he teaches environmental science during mods 4 and 5. 6 and 7, that's the one that's conflicting on Monday. And 16 and 17. So we have 4 and 5 and 16 and 17 as possible places that student could go to get the exact same lesson without an interruption. So let's go look at that schedule. 4 and 5, not going to work. 16 and 17, not going to work. This WM, that's a win mod. Science CBO is just a make-up science time. That can be any time, so that actually could be moved. but PE is going to be an issue. Something that could happen is Mr. Craig teaches PE all day long. He may be able to take his PE sections and put them at a different time, like maybe 13 and 14, if that's a possibility, and they would fit in there. But we have a different solution here. So since Mr. Matthews can't seem to find a solution to this, he has options. He can send the student to see Mr. Pommier, because that's where the conflict is at, and see if Pommier has a solution to that. Or he can say, you know what, it's no big deal. You can come on this part during one of my free times and schedule a time that you have a free time, the ability to take students in to help that student. But it turns out that Mr. Pommier can remedy this situation. So Mr. Pommier has a 14-15 life, fitness, and wellness. If we go back to that student, 14 and 15 are open. So Mr. Pommier can rectify this by saying, this 7 and 8, on this day, you can come 14 and 15. And how is he going to do that? Well, he's going to go over here to one of these little pencil-y things, click on the form, and fill out the form so that he can let the scheduling team know what's going to happen. You will notice it's auto-populating the student name and grade level and the course and the name of the course. And so what he will do is he will go in here and say, please change this student's class to this section. Now, sometimes you can't, if it's messed up on every day, you probably should look at a different section. And so you could tell them, move them to a different section number. You can find that in your grade book. Or, in our situation, we want to change it from Monday. During mods, I believe it was 7 and 8. Yep, 7 and 8. And we're going to move it to Monday to mods 14 and 15. So I click mods 14 and 15. If we couldn't find a solution, there are options. One of them might be add a win mod to help the student during that time. Maybe they go see somebody else or see you at a different time for that. Another option is maybe it's just no way of fitting that in the schedule, and that's a class they can take next year, or they really want the other class more or need it more. And so they're not taking that class with you right now, and they'll take it at a different time. Or the kid really wants to take the class, maybe it's an AP class and they want to do it through virtual high school or something, you could do an independent study. You could click that. But for this situation, we've got it solved. You would hit submit. I'm actually going to hit submit too, because that is a real change. And it's recording. And so that's no longer a conflict. So the process that you want to use with the students is look at the days of the schedule and find out where there's conflicts. Have them look at their schedule in depth. They need to know their schedule too. If you can remedy the situation, fill out the form. If you need the other teacher to look before that happens, have them look, and if they can solve the problem, fill out the form. If there's still no solution, still fill out the form, but this time you're going to know that it's not just as simple as moving a mod or something like that. So you would fill out the form, letting the counselors and the scheduling team know that we need to really look at this class and see how it fits into their schedule better, and try to come up with a more holistic solution to that. And that is how you use the scheduling form. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you guys are having a great weekend. See you tomorrow on Monday.